Welcome to Fullerton College Culture Studies program. Today we're going to talk about Ramadan. According to Appoquelith University, a study done by Audrey Dentiff shows that college sophomores lack basic knowledge of Islam and Ramadan. You should all listen to me so you can learn about the holy month of Ramadan, since there are nearly 120,000 Muslims living in Los Angeles, Orange County, Riverside, and San Bernardino. Ramadan is the biggest Islamic event that is celebrated worldwide by Muslims. And I will go over three main ideas in this speech. First, I will discuss the reasons behind the holy month of Ramadan. Second, I will discuss what Muslims do in the month of Ramadan. And third, I will discuss when Ramadan is. So let us discuss the reasons behind the holy month of Ramadan. The first reason is to be closer to Allah, the God of Islam. And one way to be closer to Allah is by practicing Nawafil prayers. Nawafil prayers are basically non-mandatory prayers that are done. Unlike the 5 mandatory prayers, Nawafil prayers are done at any time and as much as you want. Another way to be closer to Allah is by reciting the Quran and memorizing the Quran. According to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, you have to memorize the Quran so the Quran would not be corrupted in the future, since everybody knows it by heart. Another way to be closer to Allah is by practicing zikr. And zikr is basically remembrance and glorification of Allah. Now, the second reason behind the holy month of Ramadan is to learn righteousness and pity. Muslims fast the holy month of Ramadan so they could experience the poor people's life, because poor people don't have a lot of food in a lot of other countries, and they last the whole day without one single meal. And that's why at the end of the month of Ramadan, the Muslim is required to give zakat, which is charity, because now they have experienced how those poor people live and they are more generous. And the third reason behind the holy month of Ramadan is to remove the sins you have. According to Abu Hurairah, written in Sahih al-Muslim by Muslim al-Hajj, a Muslim who has sincere to be forgiven, then he shall be so. You see, Ramadan for Muslims is like a checkpoint in each year. You know, it's a checkpoint where you look back at your life and see, am I doing well with my life? Do I have problems I need to solve? And you basically solve those problems and ask for your forgiveness from your Lord. Now that I talked about the reasons behind the holy month of Ramadan, I would like to go over what Muslims do in the month of Ramadan. The first thing and the most important thing Muslims do is fasting. And people fast from sunrise to sunset. And fasting is where there's no drinking, no eating, no smoking, and no sexual activities. And Muslims, at the end of the day, they have a huge feast with their families and friends. It's not mandatory to fast until you hit puberty. And if you are sick or you are traveling, you don't have to fast, but you are capable of making that up in the future, then you can. And also the second thing that Muslims do in the month of Ramadan is practice Taraweeh. Now Taraweeh is done after the 5th mandatory prayer, and it is 12 sujuds. And Muslims pray 12 times, bow down to a God 12 times. And in Taraweeh, the Imam will read the Quran. The Imam is the reader, the prayer, the person who leads the prayer, and the Imam will recite the Holy Quran from the first chapter at the end of the beginning of the month to the last chapter at the end of the month. Another thing Muslims do in the holy month of Ramadan is Laylatul Qadr, which means the night of decree. And it is one of the last 10 nights. But the thing is about that night, it is unknown. So Muslims do not know which exactly night it is. And so that's why Muslims pray those last 10 nights at the mosque or at home throughout the whole night. So they pray because they don't know which night it is, so they pray all of those 10 nights. And why Muslims pray those 10 nights is because if you pray the night of decree, it's like you have prayed for 1,000 months, which is the reward is great for Muslims. Now that I have talked about what Muslims do in the month of Ramadan, I would like to go over when Ramadan is. Now the Islamic calendar is based on the lunar calendar, and the Ramadan is the 9th month in the Islamic calendar. The thing is about the lunar calendar, it is only 29 days, and that means we don't, the traditional culture calendar we use here is much longer than the than the Islamic calendar, and that's why Ramadan is shorter each year. Because this year, actually, Ramadan is going to be May 27th, but we don't exactly know which exactly date it is. We don't know either it could be May 27th or it's May 28th. And Ramadan gets earlier by 10 to 11 days, so we don't exactly know if it's 10 to 11 days. So this is why we do and we cite the moon. Basically, when it's a hilal, this is what it's called in Arabic, a hilal. When we see that before the Ramadan, that means that we have to fast the next day. That means that marks the beginning of the month. And this is something that Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, used to do. And it's called a sunnah, which is, sunnah basically means something that Prophet Muhammad does and that we are required to do so as well. In this speech, I have discussed what Ramadan is. I went over three main ideas. First, I discussed the reasons behind the holy month of Ramadan. Second, I discussed what Muslims do in the month of Ramadan. And third, I discussed when Ramadan is. You have listened to me because Ramadan is the biggest event in the Islamic culture and Islamic religion. And since there are a lot of a huge population in Los Angeles and Southern California, you should learn about those other people and respect them. Thank you.